Hello, everyone, and welcome to Explicit Pleasures on Big Deal Radio. I'm your host, Ray, aka Miss Big Deal. We have an awesome show for y'all. Our topic for the evening would be, what's your definition of a freak? And we will also like for you to share your explicit pleasures. We have a special guest, Sir Leo Wild. He's a pleasure dominant, and we will be discussing the truth of BDSM versus abuse versus kink. So be sure to stay tuned. We also have a couple of segments from the ladies, starting with the Kitty Cat Chat, featuring our special segment hosting Black. We also have Choose Now, Pay Later, which is a melodrama by our poet and author, Miss Susie. And on our male panel, we also have Bless, Deep Duval, and Matt. First and foremost, let's get right into the topic. Ladies, Miss Just Create.
Yes.
All right, let's start with you. What's your definition of a freak?
I don't have a definition of a freak. Cause I like what I like, and if what I like is different from what you like, and it off-puts you, or you think it's a little strange, and that's on you. But what makes me calm don't necessarily make you calm. So I don't really have a definition for a freak. It's something you see at a show, a side show. I don't know.
Okay, all right. So can you share with us one of your explicit pleasures?
Lift this bit.
Everybody got quiet. Shy.
Yeah, I definitely love my couples music and during my pleasure time.
Nothing in specific.
Maybe a hair pulling.
Okay. All right. Ray. Excuse me, Susie. Susie Ray.
Yes, ma'am.
What's your definition of a freak?
Oh my gosh, my definition of a freak. I think that it's someone who, maybe goes above and beyond, let's say. Someone who steps outside of the average everyday norms, of what's going on in, let's say, most of our bedrooms. If you're only doing, oral, anal, and vaginal, maybe that's not a freak. Maybe that's just regular, because the rest of us are doing it. And maybe a freak takes it a step further.
Okay.
Freak is a label.
And what about your explicit pleasure?
My explicit pleasure lies all in the anticipation. It's all about, the lead up, whatever stuff is said or whatever looks are shared, the glances and stuff like that. That's where my explicit pleasure lies.
Okay. I could dig it. Okay, we had Miss Black online. She's having some trouble with her phone, so she'll definitely be calling in. So until then, I'll answer the question. My definition of a freak is pretty much what Susie already said, someone that kind of go above and beyond. But I would say someone that's in tune with themselves and know what they like and don't mind exploring their partner, of course, trying new things. You have some men, for instance, that don't mind playing around with their ladies with toys. Now, what I mean by that is using the toys on their ladies. Let's just be clear. I've met men that won't even touch a toy, don't want to touch a toy. So that's what I mean when I say people.
They make those.
Yeah, that's pretty much open and willing to please their partner, other than just the normal standard, foreplay and sex. As far as my explicit pleasure, personally, I've found over the last couple of years that I enjoy spontaneous sex in public places.
Where it's
possible to be caught I hadn't got caught yet. Well, not recently, but it's something about that for me.
Sounds like a good start,
For me personally, I don't know. It's just something about the thrill of possibly being caught that turns me on. So that's something I like. That's one of my explicit pleasures. And we do have our male panel online, so I want to open the lines up for them to answer the topic. Bless, are you online?
Yeah, I'm here. How you doing, everybody?
Hey.
Hey.
All right, so Bless,
Hey.
tell us what's your definition of a freak?
My definition of a freak is someone who has a deep desire to physically and or mentally please their partner with little to no inhibitions or reservations for themselves. They're willing to satisfy the needs and imagination of their partner, even if it may place them outside of their comfort zone. Being open-minded helps and is not to be confused with the term freaky, which is a relative term, in my opinion.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, I like that. Okay. Well, and what's one of your share your explicit pleasures with us?
I would say deep sea diving. To me, that's like when your girl's watching TV, reading a book on her phone, laying on her belly, and you just bury your face in her ass and wiggling around and shit. That's one of my secret pleasures.
Oh, okay. All right. Matt, you online still?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right. Can you tell us what's your definition of a freak?
See, to me, they call the freak is just a label. It's like something that we put on the person just beyond what we're willing to do, or we put it on ourselves as kind of like a label, a badge of honor, you know? So people, either they use it as a derogatory term against someone else because, to be honest, they're not willing to do whatever, you know, the freak, quote-unquote freak, is willing to do. Well, the freak does it, and they call themselves a freak because, you know, they're proud of it. They like doing it. You know, it's like who they are. It has two meanings based on perspective, definitely.
Okay. All right. And what about your explicit pleasure?
Oh, man, there's too many to tell.
We've got time. It's okay.
I don't know. I like being. Actually, that's my explicit pleasure. Is I like being a freak. I like y'all been saying, going above and beyond, going that extra mile, doing whatever it takes to please my woman.
Okay.
Experiencing new things with her and kind of exploring things with her. That's my explicit pleasure. I enjoy it.
Okay.
I think that's the key. Finding new things to do with your partner is definitely the key to freakiness.
Okay.
Keep it new, keep it interesting.
I agree.
Okay. And we also have
something you haven't tried yet.
We also have Miss Black as well as Black. So we don't confuse the two. We'll call Black Coco. And we also have Miss Black that's doing the kitty cat chat online. So welcome back, Miss Black. Can you hear us all right?
Hello.
Hello.
Oh, hey everybody.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good.
Okay.
Hey.
Making sure we can hear you. All right. Coco.
Yeah.
Do you want to give us your definition of a freak? Your definition of a freak?
Well, my definition of a freak has changed over the years. It used to be a freak to do anything I want. Of course, I was younger then.
Okay.
As I became older, I realized that it is about what makes me feel good, what makes my man feel good. So, like the fellas were saying, above and beyond, not being afraid to take risks, you know. Whatever keeps me happy makes me want to keep you happy, so.
Okay. And would you like to share your explicit pleasure with us?
Who did? I love me some booty head, from the rooty to the booty.
Okay. I ain't mad at that.
Yeah.
Just like that. I'm definitely a fan of that also. Yeah, I'm a big fan of that, of receiving. I'm on the receiving end. So yeah. You know, just, you know, putting it out there.
Right here, you gotta be clear.
That's not even. That's not playing fair, ladies. Let's be honest.
No, it's okay to do it to your guy. You ever seen a nigga cry? If you ever want to see a nigga cry, just lick his ass.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So, Ms. Black, are you going to tell us your definition of a freak? Your definition? Ms. Black?
Did we lose her?
No, I see her. Okay, we'll get back with Ms. Black. I see that we have a caller online. I'm gonna take you off of mute. 240. You there? Hello? Okay, maybe that person.
Do the last 4 of the number.
Yeah, maybe that person don't want to talk. For future references, anyone that call in, you're going to come in on mute. If you want to talk, you can press *6, and that will let me know that you do want to talk. And I also see we have another caller online, 2166, Explicit Pleasures.
Hello?
Okay, I know who that is. Welcome to Explicit Pleasures, Nate.
What up?
Nothing. Would you like to share with us your definition of a freak?
My definition of a freak. I mean, somebody that's just down to, you know what I'm saying, do whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Well, what's whatever?
Like girl on girl type thing, you know what I'm saying? They just with it. Play with toys, maybe a little elevator sex.
Okay. All right, and would you like to share with us your explicit pleasure?
Explicit pleasure. I don't know. I like public places.
Oh, okay. We got something in common. Me too.
I get a kick out of public places. When I was a teenager, I used to get a kick out of having sex before your parents come home. You know what I'm saying? Stuff.
Okay. I have a second part of that question, if y'all don't mind. I'm not sure which one of the fellas brought it up, but it was a really good point in my opinion. Over the years, if y'all notice, the term freak kind of changed. I remember when women would be offended by being called a freak. At least where I'm from, women would be offended by being called a freak. It was nothing positive about being a freak. It was negative, you know. Over years, I've seen people embrace it, pretty much. Yeah.
Now everybody want to be a freak.
Exactly. So, do y'all think is a such thing these days as a bad freak?
Oh,
I think in this age, freak has been replaced by like other common words to stop when it's being described negatively.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I think it has several definitions. Like nothing is turns me on to see a woman having sex with a dog or a horse or some shit like that. That's some freaky shit to me, you know. But
Okay.
I would consider myself a freak, but I would never do that. So I think there's just different definitions or different outlooks on, what you view a freak as. Yeah.
All right, fellas, what y'all have to say about that?
I believe two parts of the answer. One, I think we always had freaks as far as women were concerned, but they were just more closed door freaks in the past, and now it's very out in the open. And I'll also say, to me, bad freaks are the freaks that are doing risque things for likes and attention. To me, those are not good freaks. Freaks that are just out there having sex with any kind of person and have no type of rules or regulations to how they share themselves as far as protecting themselves. I think that's a bad freak, especially if you're out there trying to give away STDs because you were scorned. So I think that would fall under the bad freak column or category, in my opinion.
Okay.
I agree.
Okay.
Totally.
That's a real good point.
All right, Matt, what do you have to say about it?
There are levels to it.
Definitely.
Like, there's freak level 1, or you like freak level 9, or something like that, you know? It's hard to tell where you're at until you see something a little bit crazier.
But if you're a level 1 freak, should you be calling yourself a freak? Like, I mean, I feel like if you have a badge of 5 or above, that you should then be able to call yourself a freak. Like, if you level 1, you ain't a freak.
Definitely. I think you should, because it's all mental. If you start by saying you are, then you're going to believe you are, and hence act out accordingly. But if you limit yourself, then of course your actions will be limited by your mind. So I think if you are level 1 or even starting to be level 1, go ahead and own it. Why not?
Okay.
I mean, when I remember being level 1, and I think I'm about at level 10 now. So yeah, in my mind, when I was level 1, shit, I was a freak on that first level, and then you know.
Exactly.
Okay. Well, can one of y'all educate me on the levels? I need to know what level I'm at.
I need to know what level I'm at.
I want to know my level. So, I mean, can we go over the levels? Like, how do you get from 1 to 5 to 10?
Well, you know what? Let's take that 10 back first before we do levels. Let's take that 10 back. Let me just go to the 5. Let me just be at the 5.
I believe level 1 is somebody who says, I think a starter level or level 1, as you put it, is anybody who's open to the idea of trying anything different that they usually wouldn't. So if you're just used to missionary or doggy and that's it, exactly. And you're thinking, well, maybe I'll, suck on his nuts a little bit, and you never did that before, then I think that's level 1. Something, as long as the thought enters your head, you're a level 1 at that point.
Yeah, you can't ever get started down
acting out those thoughts.
Yeah, you gotta have it in your mind, like, alright.
Okay, so level 1 is just real free.
Yeah.
Okay.
You get started.
Okay, so
I don't know
I want
about
to test the
that.
waters. Let me put my foot in the pool, freaky. That's level 1. I'm not
Okay.
going to jump in, but let me just put my foot in the pool and see what the temperature like.
all right. So what's level 5? Give me the level 5.
Putting your foot in, that's kind of trying it. I mean, putting your foot in and thinking about it, that's two different things. I could sit at the edge of the pool all day, but if I actually put my foot in that thing, I'm in the water.
Yeah, I don't know
You're in the
about
water, but you're not swimming. It's a difference. You can be in the water all day, but that don't mean you're swimming.
I agree. I'm just saying that there are differences to those. Maybe that's level 2 and level 3.
Okay, let me pause y'all for a quick minute
Maybe
because.
level 2 is actually going over to the water and sticking your foot in.
All right, let me give y'all a quick pause. Hold on 1 minute. Let me give a quick pause. We have Ms. Black back online. Can you hear us? Okay, Ms. Black.
Yes,
Rock star. By the couch. By the
I'm
vacuum.
trying to call you from that other phone. But I gotta talk to you on the charge outside with it. I came all the way outside. So yeah.
Okay. Let's get back. Let's rewind a little bit, and we want you to give us your definition of a freak.
Okay, yeah. So my definition of a freak is basically, it's levels, as they say. So whatever level I'm on, if he can, if he can match that, that's my definition of a freak. So, if you can put two and two together, there you go.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, and give us some of your explicit pleasures.
As far as what? I didn't catch that part.
Something. Just tell us something that you like to do.
Okay. Well, I do consider myself a freak, so that's why I was saying, whatever if that person could match my level, then I would consider him a freak. So, I'm spontaneous, and I do what it takes to please my dude. So that's pretty much a good enough definition of explicit pleasure.
Okay. Well, we do have some callers. I'm seeing some people called in. I'm not going to call you out, but if you do want to speak, press *6. I will see that you're able to. I will see that you're wanting to speak, and I can unmute you. I do see we have a new caller, so if you want to speak, if you want to address the topic, just press *6, and that way I'll know you want to speak. Back to Bless, Coco, and Matt, and now Miss Black. I need to understand the levels. I'm trying to get the levels because I need to know where I'm at.
Well, I mean, everybody has their own levels,
Right.
I like doing different things. I like toys. You know what I mean? And a lot of men are really insecure when a woman likes toys, but I don't know. Like I said, it's levels.
Make my job easier.
No, I don't know about making your job easier, but it'll spice it up. I mean, because they have toys for men and women. Not saying toys like the only thing they have for men really is just the rings and stuff like that. I mean, they have other things, but I ain't on that level. You know what I'm saying? So.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, we have a caller that want to speak. 2945. Who's calling? Hello, 2945.
That would be Sir Leo.
Oh, okay. That's our special guest for this evening, Sir Leo. Sir Leo, can you give us your definition of a freak?
Well, freak is just kind of like normal. Normal has changed over the last 20 years. The definition of freak has changed. One of our fun little presidents has changed the idea of what a freak is when he put a stain on a young woman's dress. Ever since then, everybody has changed their ideas of what being freaky is. Used to be giving head was a freak. Now you got to stand over a balcony, give head through the bars to be considered a freak. So everything is relative according to the time of what the vanilla of this world believes is a freak. And for the rest of us, we almost have to go to the extreme before anyone notices we're still a freak.
Okay.
Right.
I dig that.
Absolutely right.
I dig that.
One caveat to that, though, once it hits popular culture, it's old at that point, so you have to also keep that in mind. So yeah, giving head at one point was being freaky, but think about how many people were doing that before it became popular. So, just
right, but you know what? Well, I'm not putting anybody else. It's not about giving head, it's how you give head. I just want to make that, a point. So you can be considered a freak, as far as giving head. It's just how you give head. Everybody don't get the same, trust me.
Prior to me giving head the first time, I thought that giving head meant you were a freak. So when I gave head for the first time, that changed me into a freak. That would be the level 1, I think, for me. So these different levels, like, if we can go to how freaky is she while giving head, you know what I'm saying? Or we can just say, how freaky is she? So it's different, it's just different perspectives, Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got a question. When you say how you give head, do you mean the actions you do, like when you do it, the moaning, the moving, or do you mean the feeling you give? Do you seem like you want to do it rather than it's just a chore? What do you mean by that?
He said a chore.
Who are you asking me?
Yeah, I was asking Big Deal. She's the one who said it.
No, that was Coco. That was Coco.
I'm sorry, Coco. But yeah, that's what I was asking. Like, what do you mean by how they do it?
I think it's a bit of both, because clearly, the first time you give head, the first time I gave head, I was just like, let me try it out. 1, 2, I'm done. Ew. And then slowly but surely,
Sure, okay.
Right. When I love, when I became to love this person and I want to please him, and I'm asking him to teach me now because I want him to feel good. You know what I'm saying? So, and I think it's a bit of both.
Okay. Sir Leo, I want to get back to you and ask you to share with us some of your explicit pleasures.
Yes, I'm here.
Could you share with us some of your explicit pleasures?
Some of mine, oh boy, this could be fun. As far as my knowledge ahead, I'm a huge giver. I love to make a woman destroy a bed just for the simple fact we didn't have enough sense to put plastic down.
Okay.
I love to push a woman to extreme. I use, as I'll demonstrate later in the show, I use acupressure, I use pressure point, I use tantra, I use restraint, all of which brings the senses to the extremes. And I want any woman I'm with to experience things like the very first time she's had sex, it blows her ever-loving mind, and that's what I want every single time. As we said, the norm gets old. And my parents been together for 46 years, and they'll tell you the reason why is it's never old. You always change, you always have fun. And that's the way I look at life. Every time you're with your partner, you go in it like it's the first time, and you're going to try something completely crazy and fun.
Okay. All right. We actually just create, if I'm not mistaken, experience some of your acupressure.
Yes. Them hands, though. Them hands.
I heard.
You don't need to touch you. At some point in your life, you need to have Leo touch you. That's all I'm saying.
I've been known to be called magic hands for a reason, and I believe that when you can make a woman have multiple orgasms and the only thing you've done is hit pressure points and she's looking at you like you came from another planet, that's when you know that you brought her to where she belongs. And you've got to learn her body, because no two women are exactly alike, no two men are exactly alike. You have to use your experience and the feel of her body, also knowing where all of the nerves are, and you find her pressure points that are right for her. I tell some people, it's like one woman you can nibble on her ear, the next you nibble on her neck, another you can scratch down her spine. They all react differently. When you find her combination, you're opening that safe every single time.
I know that's right. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is the part of the show where we're going to get into our first segment, which is the Kitty Cat Chat featuring Ms. Black. So I like everyone to let her get through her segment, and anyone that's listening, if you plan on calling in, you will be on mute when you call in. If you want to speak after her segment, you can press *6. So Ms. Black, the floor is yours.
Okay, yeah, so this is what, hold on, let me get it up real quick. 1 second.
That's what he said.
Oh no!
Indeed.
1 second, y'all. Come back to me,
This is awesome.
Come back to me.
You know what? While we're waiting on her to pull that up, Ray, why don't you tell us about that sponsor that we have?
Yes, our sponsor is Waterworks, which is a vaginal natural therapy. It is a replacement for douching. It's 100% natural, stainless steel, as well as tap water. If you're interested in Waterworks, you can go to waterworkshealth.com, or you can visit Waterworks like page. They're also available at CVS or Target store. So if you are more interested, visit those pages, or you can go to the Explicit Pleasures page and you can see where it's listed. The links are on our page.
Waterworks.
Right.
Yes.
The product was called Waterworks.
Waterworks. WATERWORKS.
And what was that website again?
It's waterworkshealth.com.
Waterworkshealth.com.
Yes.
Okay. Alright, so we can get started with the kitty cat chat. Do apologize for those technical difficulties. But yeah, so I'm just going to go right into it. So an IT worker tried having sex with a sheep after a cow turned him down. The court heard, he did not successfully penetrate the mouth of the cow with his penis, and then he moved to another part of the field and tried his luck with some sheep. Now, my take on that is, you got to be the most disgusting motherfucker on earth to try some freaky shit with an animal. That's like, in my eyes, the same realm as trying to fuck a child. Like, that is disgusting as fuck. So I don't, that's pretty much my put on that. And if anybody sees fit to give an opinion or a statement on that, they can feel free to do that now. I don't expect a lot, but yeah, you have the floor. Does anybody want to give an opinion or a statement? What do they think about that?
So are you saying that the cow turned him down, so he went to a sheep?
Yeah, according to studies, or the site that I researched this on, yeah, he was actually denied. He was denied by the cow. He did not successfully penetrate the mouth, so he tried other areas. Now, it didn't specify what other areas, but come on, the cow only has one more other hole other than his nose. So, yeah.
Wow. I feel like this guy had to have been trying to pick up women like that all of his life and had turned to farm animals as a result. Like, he had to just be walking around the city with his dick out, and every person just turned away from him. When he got to the cow turned away. I guess the sheep kept looking.
Well, no, well, I've seen online, I did see this, it's a lot of women who actually fuck horses. That's the most popular that I actually seen, and if you would like, you can Google this. But yeah, and they actually model, they pose, they have a monthly calendar of these women, and they're popular because they see who can take the biggest horse dick. I mean, it's disgusting. It's really disgusting to even talk about it. But, that's just what some sick people like to do.
Whoa.
Well, I don't knock anyone's freaky pleasure. Bestiality is weird. But at the same time, I do agree that a lot of people go into that because they lack social skills. I mean, it takes a little bit of cunningness to kind of convert somebody out of their boxes or their drawers. So if you got an animal that does nothing but eat, sleep, shit, and fuck, then how much brain matter does it take to get them to do something? So I think they're lacking in social skills and they're lazy, and more power to them.
I don't know about all that. I don't have a dick, I'm just saying. I done seen a cow chew grass before. I didn't look concerned about putting my dick in the cow's mouth. That's just sick, though.
Maybe that's part of the thrill. Maybe that's part of the thrill. Just like for people who like and enjoy public sex, they might like, the thrill of being caught. Maybe that guy just likes the thrill of his dick being chopped off. Didn't know.
Well, no, we can't.
It's a 50-50 shot that I would rather not
take.
Hold on,
we can't compare it to that.
Am I going to nut or am I going to go home dickless?
Wow.
Yeah, but we still can't compare it to that because people have sex on the beach, couples all the time. That's in public, so I can't. That's not sick. That's that's cute. With your honey.
Well, I mean, that's cute for you, but the person that's getting fucked by the horse might think that it's weird that you're having sex at a beach. Like, it's all about perspective, but even at the same time, I mean, I'm saying that the person is getting the thrill. The person is getting the thrill from almost being caught. You know what I'm saying? It's that adrenaline rush, why they really do it. It's not necessarily about sex, and when the person is doing it, for this animal thrill, maybe that's the thrill for them. Maybe the thrill for them is that they could potentially get hurt or maimed or killed, during this act. Maybe that's the thing that's turning them on.
This particular report, it was actually... Yeah, this was actually cut and dry. They didn't go into detail, but, it did open up a door of questions like, oh my God, people really do this. So Google is magic. So I had to go and see, like, was this real? And that's why I was able to see, how I was able to see, like, this is some real shit. People are really sick. And it wasn't just horses, it was sheep, and I don't even know what that other thing was. It was it looked like a camel. No, alpaca? It looked like a camel / it was really hairy, and it had one hump. Yes, please go. I encourage you people to go and see. We have very sick people in the world, but I don't know what kind of animal. Looks like a llama or something.
It's different. Might have been a llama.
But this is
maybe an emu.
It's really sick people in the world, and like I said, this was really cut and dry, but I had to explore a bit, and people fuck animals every day, and I think that is really sick.
Some of them really have an emotional bond to their animals as well. Like, there's some people who love animals more than they love people. So
fucking their dogs.
Yeah, really, they're sharing themselves with somebody they love, in their opinion. So, and I'm speaking more to the ones who do it with the canines. I remember I lived in Florida not too long ago, and there was someone on the radio who said she used to smear peanut butter on her pussy and have her Rottweiler lick it off, and she was cool with that.
And I mean, to think of it that way, as Ray pointed out, they may think that what we do or what I do is sick. So to think of it that way, okay, but it's levels. But that's just going way too damn far. I just my freak level is decreasing by the moment, by the second. Human penis is not made to penetrate animals. I don't care what you say. If that's the case, then why don't men dicks look like horse dicks? I mean, if that was the case, I don't think...
True.
No. Let's take something. If you see this
look, it might be a baby horse, but whatever.
No, baby. You ain't never seen a dick this big on a human. No, those women with dicks like toes. So I just imagine what their insides look like. It's just like a hollow hole. It has to be, because this is like both my arms put together. But, even more, of a rat. Man, these horses were built. You hear me? So,
I mean, but let's be honest, though. I mean, on porn, you see some women that enjoy fisting.
Pounds, so,
look, that's
I've seen that a horse hawk weighs 1,000 pounds.
No, a horse itself weighs 1,000 pounds, so maybe 50.
Yeah, his top weighs about 400.
Think of the body ratio. Anywhere between 20 to 50 pounds.
Oh my God!
But I mean, I think that
it was in the radiant. You had to know what kind of horse it was.
Well, I like my cars with a lot of horsepower, so I don't know. I know, but
we're talking about breeds of horses.
the nose. I'm sorry, y'all. I hate to start it all like this.
We're talking a minute.
Right, but like I said, I didn't mean to, start it out like that, but that stuck out to me. I could not believe I ran into something like that. And, like I said, it opened the door of questions, like, even when we do this, so I went and, explored a bit. So, just to have insight on all of that, I'm like, oh my God, this is for real. So, I had to share. It was, I was excited to share these creepy people with everybody else. So, yeah.
Practice
what?
stay safe. Like, you can fly a freak flag high to stay safe. And back to kind of what I was saying, like, syphilis is originally, or there was a bunch of STDs. I mean, I get into specifics,
Right.
so I get quoted later.
Right.
There's a lot of
There's
STDs.
no condom
from
big enough
animals.
for a horse. Right.
Yeah. You know, it's besides the moral, you know, and weird factor of it, like, you're endangering the health after that. So it's,
I could just imagine, you know,
don't have sex with the dog.
right. And then when they just, ew, and you letting them ejaculate in you, and I mean, like I said, there's no kind of protection for a horse penis. So this is raw every single time, and it's just like, ew, this thing is outside, flies on it, just, ew, you know.
Yeah. Is there another story that you had to share with us, Black?
I'm sorry.
I found it interesting. I'm not gonna lie about it.
Right.
It's interesting. It's just
Thank you, Brett. I found it.
Nothing I would partake in, but
nasty.
it's very interesting to know that people. It's kind of like
This is
two
real.
girls, one cup thing. You want to turn your head, but you still also want to see what the hell's about to happen at the same time. So, yeah, no, that's
I thought it was
there's
interesting.
people in this world.
I thought it was
Get
pretty
that
interesting
category.
because I've never heard of it. I mean, you hear that, you know, you just.
But no, because I was earlier, a girl was having sex with a horse and he killed her.
I remember that.
And then I saw that video.
After what I saw, yeah, you would think they would die. But hey. Yeah, so like I said, that was interesting to me.
Well, you also have to keep in mind, though, how different is that from fisting? I mean, if you can stick top of your knuckles down to your elbow into someone's cervix, then how different is that? I've seen people stick two hands and arms into someone's ass or vagina, so it's really no different if you think about a horse compared to two human arms. You said that his dick was big as two arms, so I mean, people like pushing their thresholds. There are a lot of people in this world who want to see how far they can go before the rubber band snaps back, and I think that's what they get off on, how far they can go before they break.
Okay.
Reality is level 10. Is fisting level 9?
Right.
all right. Bestiality
It goes back to levels because I've never
Level
seen that.
10-B.
All right.
Okay.
All right. So
it's to wrap up my segment. Like I said, I only had that to point out. You know, it was interesting, and I just wanted to share my opinion and my insight of what I found further after that quick little report. But, yeah, so I'll turn it back over to Rex.
All right. Thank you so much for that segment. That was very informative. Yeah, thank you. So we're going to move right along, and we're going to get into our question and answer segment with Sir Leo Wilds. But first, I have to remind you about our sponsor. Waterworks Natural Vaginal Therapy is a healthier alternative using stainless steel and tap water. This product is safe and is also FDA approved. Visit waterworkshealth.com or visit the Waterworks like page on Facebook. You can also purchase Waterworks at Target or CVS stores. Waterworks. Be fresher, be cleaner, be confident. That's our sponsor. So we're going to get right into it with Sir Leo Wild. He is what we call a pleasure dominant. Are you there, Sir Leo?
I'm here. I'm just trying to figure out how I'm supposed to follow that segment.
Whips and chains. Whips and chains.
Whips and chains. Okay. So pretty much, can we start off by you explaining to us, well, actually give us a little of your background and explain to us exactly what a pleasure dominant is?
Well, I've got roughly 25 years in the BDSM lifestyle. I've ranged everywhere from a straight-up sadist who took great pleasure in giving extreme pain. I've also specialized in mind control, and over the years I've come to truly understand the respect that goes with the lifestyle, so I've calmed down in a lot of ways, but I have great respect and understanding of the trueness of the lifestyle what I've done over the years, learning massage, acupressure, tantra, pressure point, I've utilized all of that in with mind and body control so that I can now dominate on the flip side, where most people would imagine that BDSM is all about pain being inflicted or received. I take it to another level where I control through extreme pleasure, and the control comes from taking that pleasure away. And at that point, your mind and body craves it so much that you will do whatever you must to get that pleasure again.
Okay. All right.
Sexual blackmail. I like it.
Pretty much secret, man.
Okay.
And don't necessarily have to use sex. As I said before, understanding the body and the nervous system, you can bring a woman to multiple and extreme pleasures, and you never once have to penetrate her or even touch any of her sexual organs.
Whoa. All right. I know that's right. I'm definitely going to have to set up a session to get some of those magic hands. I'm definitely well overdue. Yeah, I've heard plenty of.
Well, I have table and oil. I always travel.
Definitely, I've heard good things, so I'm on board. Can we get into the topic for your segment, which is the truth of BDSM versus abuse versus kink? Can you first tell the listeners what BDSM stand for?
BDSM, the BD is straight up bondage. The DS is dominant and submissive, and the S and M is sadomasochist. So it's the giver and the taker of pain or control. And that's the simplest definition of the four letters.
Okay. Now,
and inside of that, you have niches that are as varied as religions in the world.
Yes, definitely. So can you give us some insight on pretty much the difference between BDSM, abuse, and kink?
Well, BDSM compared to abuse, BDSM is everyone is voluntary. Everyone is understanding and respectful of what each party is wanting, whereas in abuse, the dominating person has no care for what they're doing to the person, and the person they're dominating has no control of what's happening. Whereas in the BDSM lifestyle, the one that actually has the true control is the submissive. They set the boundaries. They have the safe words. They have the true control, because the dom can only do what the submissive allows to be done to them. So there is always respect and understanding. There's caring of what both parties need, require, and desire. Abuse has none of that. Abuse is about one person wanting to control the other one for their own selfish need or sick desires. As far as kink as a generality is about taking sex to the extreme. Adding BDSM to sex just takes it to another extreme. You can be parachuting and have sex, that's still kink. Adding sex underwater, that's still kink. Adding BDSM to kink, that to their sex life, kink, what a lot of people in the fellow world, they view BDSM as just another sexual act because of kinksters who've added it to their sex. Reality is, true BDSM only involves sex between 10 and 15% of the time, where kink is almost 100% of the time.
Mm-hmm. Can you explain to our callers what you mean when you say vanilla?
Vanilla would be your average person on the street, the one that's not looking for anything outside of their morals or religious beliefs or their family understanding of what is right and wrong in the bedroom. They're pretty much going to do what they need to for their simple pleasures and childbirth. They're not going to take anything to the extreme. Vanilla has different ranges, of course, because some would consider, as my mom, who truly believes that French kissing is a sin, all the way to the point that they would believe that oral sex would be okay, whereas some would even still believe that's not okay. But in that realm would be considered vanilla. It's still keeping fairly simple without pushing any of their boundaries.
Okay.
Level 0.
Okay.
You can get to 1.5.
Can you explain to us what a scene is?
A scene or a session is start to finish, and the parties involved have decided they want to do a specific scene. That scene is determined by the type of genre they're into, whether it's needle play, fire play, knife play, bondage, spanking, tickling. It's so varied. Water play. You decide what it is that you want, and then when that scene starts, until a safe word is spoken or a safe action is given, that scene is to continue on. Now, the safe word or safe action does not mean scene ends. It means scene goes on pause. Once on pause, you generally have a secondary term, or you use that again to say, we're done. Because for some, it's just during that action, you're tickling someone to the point they pee. They want the scene to stop at that point. So pause. But they're not done with the scene because they want to see what else they can do. So usually a scene is mapped out beforehand, what to be expected, or something has been discussed, what my levels I would like to test, where are my pressure points of extreme, and can you take me to that point till I say no? Or in this case, pineapple, oranges, grapefruit, whatever your safe word is, because no and stop and please are not safe words.
Okay. All right. I want to rewind just a little bit. Can you say you were in this lifestyle for about 25 years?
Correct.
So did you start off as a pleasure dominant?
No. I was a lost teenager who was a victim of abuse with a lot of anger. And I was discovered by a very sadistic dominatrix who convinced me that I could regain my power by abusing women who were similar to the one who abused me. It was everything wrong with the lifestyle is where I came into the lifestyle. Over the years, I've learned from other people that truly saw the beauty in the lifestyle, how to pull back and to show that respect for myself and the respect for others. And in so doing so, I saw the true beauty. And the pleasure dominance came into play with me learning the massage and the tantra and the pressure point and acupressure. I realized I could utilize that in BDSM and take it to another place.
Okay. All right. So,
Okay, so Leo, question. The tantrum, I've read into it. I haven't actually experienced it, but that's kind of like the energy of the sex, not actual sex, right?
Yes, Tantra, the truest definition of Tantra is the journey. Most people's lives are about going from point to point to point. I mean, that's everything in between the points. And Tantra is about enjoying the line between the points. It's all about the journey. So when you're saying you're having tantric sex, your goal is not orgasm. Your goal is experience in between orgasms. It's feeling everything happening to your body and the energy flow to the other person there to the point you can feel everything happening to their body. And that total connection. Inside of a tantric scene, you learn how to time your breathing, time your heartbeat. You feel each other's energy to the point you actually meld as one. And your only true goal is to be one. You're not trying to finish. You're just trying to experience.
Some deep
Not to
shit.
diminish tantric, but I guess the closest way to describe it is being on X. Like, have you ever had that feeling of blowing up when you're with your partner? It's kind of similar to that.
It's to me, it's kind of like floating in warm water at night, looking at the stars, and you taking in the warmth of the water, the feel of weightlessness, and the visual of the stars, and the smell of the salt water all at the same time. That's what you're doing. Is every sense that you have and sense that you didn't know are all being stimulated at the exact same time. And those who claim that they can have steam bags, they can have sex for 8, 12 hours. A lot of people misconceive that, oh, so he got a 12-hour hard-on. No, you're going to rush the poor man to the hospital. What he's saying is that he has a connection with his wife, that they have a loving session that can go on for hours, that they're getting to know each other's bodies and themselves on a level they never experienced before.
Well, let me ask you this then, spinning off of that. If you do have an 8-hour session, how do you prevent arousal as a man to keep from having a 12 or 8-hour hard-on?
You're not going to prevent it. But as a natural, you know you're not generally going to keep a hard-on for hours on end. You would have one, you would change the oral sex, you would change the touching, you'd change the cuddling, holding, stroking, licking. Your hard-on comes and goes accordingly. So you're not attempting to stay hard for that amount of time. What you're attempting to stay is connected. There's no such thing as full play. There's no such thing as afterplay. There's no such thing as having sex. It's one continuous motion.
Wow.
I totally agree.
That's some deep shit. I like that.
The ones who have the hardest time are generally men, because my grandfather used to tell me that any man can rub up against a tree and get his. Where a woman needs to be enjoyed, pleasured, understood, and accepted for who she is before she ever gets that completeness. So for Tantra and a woman, it's easier to understand. For a man, you generally have to get outside of your ego and actually get inside of her. And that's where the hard part comes in. But once you do it, it takes you to a level you never imagined.
Any questions, anyone?
We're going to have another session, Leo. That's all I'm asking.
No questions?
I'm always available for a phone call, and the only thing you got to do is prepare to get outside of anything you know.
Okay.
I have a question.
Okay?
Maybe, I'm sure that, someone has, taken in all of the information that you've just given us, and maybe they are, looking, maybe they want to look into ways to get into the lifestyle or to learn more about it. Do you know maybe any references or any maybe materials or a place that they can go to learn more about BDSM?
Okay. I was about to ask which lifestyle are we talking about. BDSM, the best way I could say, and there's a lot of books. I mean, they recently had a book turned into a movie. Not a fan. But anyways, it did open the eyes of a lot of those who just didn't know that could be a passionate experience. What I generally tell people to do is go to Google. When you search BDSM, look for actual accounts from individuals, submissives and dominants, and read what they themselves have experienced. Don't go to the definitions, because sometimes those aren't even written by people in the lifestyle. You want to do it at Google, as y'all brought up earlier. The wonderful thing about Google, it'll take you to all sorts of places. But simply put, BDSM, submissive experience. BDSM dominance experience, and read those experiences, and then before long you'll be hours in just reading one thing after another and get their first-hand experience of what it was to them. don't just learn the terminology. Don't just learn what equipment to use. Learn how these individuals felt. Learn the psychology and emotional release they've had from the lifestyle, and that'll let you know whether you want to connect with it or not.
Awesome.
Okay, so on that note, we're going to take a pause with Sir Leo, and we'll come back with him. Anyone that's listening that want to join in on the conversation, you can download the app Spreaker. Whether you have an iPhone or an Android, you can go to the Play Store or the App Store, download Spreaker, search Big Deal Radio, hit the follow button, and you will see when we are live, and you will also be able to speak with us. We have in chat Miss Cleopatra. She's listening in, and she's enjoying the BDSM segment of the show. So we'll definitely have to get into that. We're going to turn it over to Susie with our melodrama choose now, pay later. Miss Susie.
Awesome. Well, welcome to Choose Now, Pay Later, you guys. I'm your host, Susie, and I'm going to introduce you to a world of super crazy characters with even crazier lives. This week, since we're all just getting familiar, I'm going to get you up to speed, and then next week we're going to dive even deeper into the drama. Okay, you guys, so here's the scoop. The first couple we have is Jason and Nikki. Jason is this 28-year-old, tall, dark-skinned brother with long, sexy locks. He dresses well for his job in middle management, and he's what you might call your typical ladies' man. Now, his girl, Nikki, she's a 26-year-old Spanish-Italian model. So you know what that means. Sexy, spicy, and crazy as hell. They've been together for about 10 years, and they even have a 5-year-old son. But that didn't really stop Jason from hooking up with Jasmine and producing their 2-year-old daughter. Now, this might sound crazy, but Jason's dream is to impregnate a girl of every nationality so that he can have a football-sized team of multicultural kids. He wants his family picture looking like a United Colors of Benetton ad. The crazy thing is, his girl Nikki is completely down with it. She's in there cleaning, making room in the house so that they can welcome Jasmine and her child into their home. Now, of course, Jasmine doesn't want to move in because she wants Jason all to herself. So every chance she gets, she calls him over and cooks and cleans and fucks his brains out just to show him how good of a housewife she can be. But Jason could care less. He's already working on his third child and baby mama combo, and he has his sights set on Rose, who is Nikki's best friend. And what's worse, Nikki's slowly trying to convince Rose to have a threesome with the couple. Y'all, when Jasmine showed up at Jason's house to drop off the baby, and Rose answered the door in one of his shirts, Jasmine was completely shocked. And to make matters worse, Rose was drinking straight from the orange juice carton. Y'all, I don't know what in the world Jason is thinking. Is Nikki crazy? Will Jasmine change her mind and move into the house? Or is Rose going to move in and take her spot? You know what? I'm not even sure what's going to happen with all of them. But let's check in with Jason's Aunt Carla. Now, Carla, she's the 40-something single lady that's not really single. She has Rick at home holding down the fort. They both work the day shift, but as soon as she gets home, she changes clothes and runs right back out the door. Now, Carla is purposely keeping Rick on a leash so that he can pay bills and provide, but that's about it. As soon as Carla hits the streets, she is a whole different person. She's always at a nightclub or a bar or a party, living out the lost years of her 20s. And while she's out partying and thinking shit is sweet, she doesn't know that Rick is married to a whole nother woman that he visits during his business trips upstate. Now, Stephanie is the reflection of the 50s housewife. She's waiting with slippers and scotch for her husband to come home. She is in love with their lavish lifestyle, and she loves all of the benefits that comes with being Rick's wife. Now, Rick loves Carla, but since she's not done playing around in the streets, he's not interested in ending his marriage with Stephanie. Well, not until Carla is actually ready to settle down. So the question is, will Carla ever stop acting single? Will Rick end his marriage? And most importantly, does his wife even know or care that he's living with another woman? Oh, child. Listen, that's a whole bunch of drama right there. But right now, we're about out of time. So I need you to keep listening to the show. I'm going to be back in a few minutes with more ridiculousness on Choose Now, Pay Later. Now, guys, this story series is going to get pretty steamy and pretty sexy, a lot like my book, The Birds, the Bees, and the Boudoir. You can find this collection of erotic poetry on Amazon, Books A Million, or even BarnesandNoble.com. Again, that's The Birds, the Bees, and the Boudoir, available on Amazon. Also, if you have any questions for me or about this segment, please send your questions for the Ladies of EP to explicitpleasures69@gmail.com. And remember to follow Ladies of EP on Twitter and Facebook. Once again, that's explicitpleasures69@gmail.com, and follow us at Ladies of EP, that's LADIES of EP, on Facebook and Twitter. All right, you guys, that's all the time I have for now. So I'm going to send it back to you, Ray, and I'll be back in a little while with the second half of this saga.
All right. That's good. I appreciate that. What y'all think?
I'm good.
Hello, people?
I'm into it.
Yeah.
I want to see what happens.
All right.
I'm saying these multiracial children, we're going to have a whole football team level. I can't deal.
Yeah, that's good work. That's good work. So we're gonna get back with Sir Leo Wild, excuse me. This Tony's side of her question, with her conversation rather, with Sir Leo. Tony.
Say that one more time, Ray. I'm sorry. It was some feedback I'm getting. I apologize.
Oh, okay. I was saying this is your segment. This is your conversation with Sir Leo.
So, Leo, I get you all to myself now.
Uh-oh. This could be fun.
You know, always with me. Now, when Susie was asking you about the lifestyle, you did mention you were about to say which lifestyle. Is that to include that you are, is that to I lost my word. To state that you have different lifestyles outside of the BDSM?
Correct.
And would you care to expand on exactly what those would entail, what they include?
I am into poly. I am in the BDSM. I am into pleasure through European and Asian and Indian techniques. I am also a writer. I'm a designer and maker of toys. The majority of what I use in BDSM, I also design and make. My mind never slows down, so my hands never slow down.
I don't mind. Now, I have had the pleasure of being to every event where you were present and see some of these products that you do have. And what I say I must enjoy about you is that you are very much on top of being safe and everything that's being done. As I was saying in one of the shows,
Hello?
or if you're not comfortable with somebody and you don't have those safe words in place, you know, it can turn ugly very fast.
Exactly.
So somebody that's just getting into the lifestyle, do you have anything that you could suggest to them, or somebody that may want to get into the lifestyle?
There's a lot of things that can go badly quickly. I actually teach one-on-one to couples, one-on-two basically, to help them understand the safeties, how to use rope, how to use leather, how to use different restraints in a safe way, how to understand how the human body reacts to sweating, swelling, rope, leather, how each media you use reacts differently to moisture, to swelling. The last thing you want is to use rope and turn it into a tourniquet. That can go badly quickly. The other thing is never rush anything. I have 3 simple rules. You must have fun, you must have trust, and you must be safe. If one of those 3 things are not there, you should never start a scene. So your partner partner must be somebody you trust. They must be somebody who knows enough and understands enough honestly that they can be safe about it. And the both of you got to have fun, because if you're not having fun, why do you even do it?
One of our questions for couples, I know I'm getting married so long. Y'all might want to get a couple of his toys, his restraints. I'm just saying, throwing it out there to y'all, Ray, Susie. I'm just saying.
Anybody else got anything they want to ask earlier?
My ears definitely, perked up a little bit more when I heard that. We might have to get something in development.
Do we still have Coco online?
There's a lot of fun in the lifestyle, especially for couples who've been together for a while. And I always tell people, everybody that has enjoyed just beyond the average type of sex has probably enjoyed some form or another of BDSM. Most of the shows I do, I always explain one simple fact. Anyone tells me that they don't like BDSM or they would refuse to ever let anybody spank or slap them, I say, so, when your man or woman has got you bent over and they're slow stroking that game in and out of you and they haul up and spank your ass, do you yell and stop, or do you say, yes, daddy, more? Now, the minute you say, yes, daddy, more, guess what? You just enjoyed BDSM.
Just as simple as that.
It's as simple as that. So, you don't know what you know till you know it. So never say no to anything that you haven't personally done until you can safely try it yourself.
I'll try anything once, twice if I like it.
3 times just to make sure.
Okay, do anybody else have any questions for Sir Leo Wild?
Come on, guys, y'all gotta have some questions.
What would you say?
I actually don't. I'm into
the most extreme thing that you've done.
Most extreme thing I would do
again, personally.
Personally, I will not do needles. I will not do knife play, and I will not do fire play. I don't have a lot of experience with it. I don't do anything I don't have a lot of experience with because things can go badly. And I freak out over needles. I act like a little kid. There's a lot of things I can handle, but I'll admit real quick, I don't do needles. But I have a lot of respect for those who are great at what they do. And I always tell people that if you don't know it, find somebody you trust to help teach you or to do the scene for you with you there. And everybody learns something new and everybody still has fun. And trust your partner when they say they want to try something new and it's not something you can handle. Trust that they're not saying they don't want to experience life with you. They just want to try something, and you have to trust that they're not asking to be with somebody else. They're just asking to experience the new. And then when they get done experiencing that, be more than happy to say what you'd like to experience. It may not be something they want to do. But trust each other to keep pushing your own boundaries without saying you absolutely have to do it with that person. Because if you put yourself in a box, you're going to be miserable and you're going to resent your partner.
Definitely.
Okay.
Because I've been there where, the relationship didn't work out because the girl wasn't on my level of freak. Like, wasn't even close. It was very frustrating. Very frustrating.
It can be. And the other thing is, a lot of people don't want to get on that level because we're raised in a country where we're told a lot of things growing up that's wrong. But we're never told that we can find out for ourselves what's wrong and right for us. And sometimes before you push the act, you have to get into the psychology of who they are. And you may find out they're just itching to push those boundaries, but they have their mother or their grandmother stuck in their head. You got to put them in a little box inside their head and say, hey, you're free. Enjoy. I'm here. Let's be safe. Let's have fun. Enjoy. No regrets. No worries. All consensual. Now let's do it.
Okay.
All confidential.
Exactly.
So Leo, can you tell everybody where they can reach you at for your services? Any emails or Facebook account?
Easiest way to get a hold of me is through email, and it's sirleowild@gmail.com. Once I trust you a little more, I'm more than happy to give my phone number out, but I don't like to just throw it out there too quick. But with that email, I've got my phone on at all times. If anybody is emailing me, I know about it pretty quick.
Okay, can you tell us your services?
I can set up a scene. I'm totally mobile. Say again?
Can you tell us your services, your list of services?
My services, I teach safety. I teach tantra. I teach sensual massage for couples. I refuse to do training when there's a couple and only one wants to do it, because what generally happens is that one person goes beyond what the other person can handle, and then there becomes resentment. So anytime there's a couple involved, the couple must be there for any training session of anything I do, whether it's tantra, sensual massage, acupressure, BDSM, the couple must be there. If it's an individual outside of a relationship, I will be more than happy to teach them. I also teach individuals who have the right mindset how to be dominant, how to be true doms. And I've mentioned before, there's a big difference between a dominant and a dominating. Dominating are generally weak individuals who must dominate to feel strong, where dominant is a strong, self-confident individual who loves any submissive they're with and has greater respect for them than they actually usually do for themselves.
Okay. So again, can you give us your email addresses? Now we have your services one more time for the people that may just be tuning in.
Sir Leo Wild @gmail.com.
Okay. Appreciate that. We're going to get back to the sponsor. Waterworks Natural Vaginal Therapy. You know what I'm saying? Y'all could go to the Facebook page, Waterworks, or go to waterworkshealth.com if you want to view the product, or you can go to your CVS or Target stores. And then we're going to get into Miss Susie. She has Tongue Tip Tuesday, so she's going to give both the ladies and men tongue tips, and we'll get it turned over to her.
Oh my. Tongue tips. Well, you guys, you know how much I love using my tongue. And the first and most important tip is always to brush your tongue, okay? So often people don't realize that the tongue is where all of the scent is kept. Of course, yes, buildup and plaque and all of those things can hold scent as well, but nowhere near as much as what's trapped in your tongue. And you need to keep things like this in mind, especially for any of you who are smokers, who chew tobacco, or any of our nose candy enthusiasts. You need to be mindful of that as well, that, the condition of your tongue can change the taste of your food and your drinks, as well as your partner's genitals and juices. So, now that we've gotten that out of the way, let's move on to something slightly more fun, or slightly more interesting, actually. Did you know that there are a lot of women out there who are horrified to ask for oral sex? I mean, men have this way of just kind of whipping it out and throwing the dick in your face and just wiggling it at you as if to say, come over here and get it, Women, we can't really do it that way. You know what I mean? We operate differently. So if a guy doesn't take the hint from a gentle shove in the southern direction, then some women might decide to forego oral sex altogether. So guys, obviously, first tip is for you: eat the pussy. And I don't mean just eat it, like, I mean, like, devour it, like, you know what I mean? Take them in little pieces, like, eat them all, like, little Pop-Tarts, like, pop them in your mouth, like, be excited, okay? Gobble it up. Eat the pussy, love the pussy, be the pussy, okay?
Yeah.
All right, now, even if you don't love doing it, okay, she's definitely going to appreciate it, and she'll be way more likely to return the favor. And ladies, okay, ladies, I have 2 suggestions for you guys, all right? The first thing is to remove the fear of rejection from your sex life, okay? Just remove it. Get rid of it. You do not need it. It's so unnecessary, okay? Women have been historically taught to play the submissive. We've been passed down myths that men are in control outside of the bedroom and inside the bedroom too. And frankly, ladies, it's a lie. Your sex life is your sex life. You're the one who has given this man permission to enter you, so it's up to you to inform him of your needs before he sets foot inside. And sure, he can say no, but so can you. And 9 times out of 10, he'll still take the pussy, even if you decide not to give him head. Which actually brings me to my second point. Maybe you need to stop giving until you start getting. Okay? Now, this will illustrate the point very clearly for any of the men in your life. You do for me, I'll do for you. It's as simple as that. Most guys get hard before you get down there to suck it anyway, so just hop straight on it. Shit, you'll still be getting what you both want, just skipping the BS. Now, while oral sex is awesome, okay, it's super nice, it's really great, like, I can talk about it all day, how fantastic it is, but it's not required for foreplay or for full penetration intercourse. And I know what the guys are probably thinking right now. Oh, she must be batshit crazy. Don't worry, guys. I'm not. Okay, maybe just a little bit? Okay, no, okay. But I'm not, okay? Sure. There are hundreds of women out there who can remember, like, giving a guy some, like, bomb-ass head, right? I mean, she probably was, like, really, really proud of the job that she did for you, okay? She comes up for air. She's just waiting to get wet. You know what I mean? She laying back. She getting all open and ready and stuff. But now that he's been sucked off, he's just ready to whip her over and go to work. Not cool, guys, okay? Not cool. Especially when your dick gets sucked repeatedly throughout the act, okay? Meanwhile, we gotta hope for it to happen once just during the course of things. So, here is the official order. Y'all kiss, then he eats, then she sucks, then y'all fuck. Okay? Let me say that one more time. Y'all kiss, then he eats, then she sucks, then y'all fuck. Okay? So, take that tip home with you. All right? That's all you need to remember. Now, if you have any other questions for me or tips that you'd like to hear on the show, of course, email us at explicitpleasures69@gmail.com. And definitely remember to follow the ladies of EP on Facebook and Twitter. Again, that email is explicitpleasures69@gmail.com. And definitely remember to follow the ladies of EP on Facebook and Twitter. Now, next week, we're going to get way more in-depth with some very specific techniques and step-by-step instructions. But for now, this has been Susie's Tongue Tips. Ray, I'm going to turn it back over to you.
All right. Appreciate you. We learned some things.
Yeah.
Hello, everybody.
And in that order.
Yeah, and we're back. Yeah, so this is the part of the show is pretty much open discussion. So anything that anybody want to talk about, the floor is yours.
I want to talk about how those male panelists feel about that order Susie just shared with us.
I do not agree. I believe that order should not be that order. I believe that order should be changed depending on the person. I believe that order should be used for any new party for female, from a female's perspective. If you're dating somebody new, then yeah, you may want to try that out just to make sure you don't get, the 68 and I owe you one. But any true, I would say, freak won't even worry about that order. It's not even going to come into play. You're going to get what you get, I'm going to get what I'm getting, and we're both going to be happy. So I don't agree with it personally, but that's just me.
Okay, Deep
They
Duval.
put labels on it like that, like saying, here's what you need to do. Here's a step by step to what we're doing. I mean, that takes the fun out of it. I mean, every time's different. That's all.
That's why.
Definitely.
If it's a consistent lack, then all right.
These things are true.
You can chime in.
I definitely agree with you guys, but I don't think I'm not giving these tips for the experts. You know what I mean? We experts, we level 10, level 5 and up people. We all know what's good, already. So we don't really need tongue tips. These are for the folks that need the tips. Frankly, I do have to stress that point because there are, like I said, there are people out there, who are, afraid to, verbally let their partner know what they need. And it might not just be oral sex. It might be tons of other things.
I think communication is the best part of sex. If you can find someone that you can communicate with and let them know what you like, what you don't like, that makes for a better sexual experience, definitely.
Definitely.
Okay.
Setting expectations before it even gets to that level, like during the courting period, the courtship, this is what I like in the bedroom, this is what I don't like. Bring that conversation up. That way you know how far to take it with that other person. Set those boundaries very early. That way you're not disappointed in the bedroom. Because if you're disappointed in the bedroom, it's going to show.
I totally agree with what you're saying. I think that, however, people often miss that step where they set expectations and they clearly define their boundaries with each other.
Definitely. I think people play so many games nowadays that, it's a running joke now, yeah. You want to come over and watch Netflix. You know what that means. Like, people know. Like, everybody knows, like, what's going to happen and what the end game is going to be. The question is this something that's going to happen once? Is this something that's going to happen a few times? Or is this something that's going to lead into a lengthy relationship? That's the real ideal question, but it never starts off that way, for a man at least. Most men see it as an experience, and most women see it as a start to something beautiful. And I think that's the big difference. Just talking it out, though, would definitely help.
Okay.
I find it extremely hard to find something long-term or beautiful in a Netflix hookup. To be real with you.
What if it works out, There's always that random chance.
You know what? Maybe it's just me, okay? But I don't take that guy seriously.
Why?
The guy that, maybe, you're like on the late night hookup for like Netflix or whatever, whatever you want to call it, meeting for chips, I don't know, going to the store, whatever.
Why don't you take that guy seriously?
Whatever you want to call it, I don't take that guy seriously. You know what I mean? Like, we already know, like, kind of what it is, like, right? We both got to X, you know what I mean, so to speak, and, okay, mystery solved. I'm not looking to, I don't know, go to dinner with this guy or, like, take him, like, for real or to be asking him out.
Then why'd you give him that time anyway?
But what's going to happen is you and that guy continues to have sex. Emotions will grow on one side, if not both sides. So eventually you will get that guy as someone to take to dinner or someone to go out with. So
I disagree. I am a sexually, emotionally disconnected person, and those things do not intertwine for me.
Oh, bless you.
Bless you.
Yes, bless someone.
That would be blessed. And that's very rare. Someone, a woman who can detach her heart from her vagina is not easy. It's not easy.
It's not easy, but it's possible. It's not easy, but it's possible.
But you do know what that starts. Once a man feels like you're just using him for sex, then he's going to start saying and doing things to get you emotionally attached.
Yeah.
It becomes a real game at that point. It's the thrill of the hunt. She's acting like she doesn't want me, so let me give her a reason to want me. And when she wants me, I no longer want her, and that's what the game becomes.
So,
I guess that's if you allow yourself to play the game. I mean, if you've been, dealing with, this type of thing for as long as some of us have, when you look around and you get the message at 10 o'clock, like you already know it's 10 o'clock. You know what I mean? You ain't calling me about shit. Like, let's be real. You know what I mean? You already know in your mind, and you have made a decision to mentally enter that game or not. You know what I mean? So at the point where, the guy is like doing all of this extra stuff and like trying to do all it, you can choose to see that or not. You can keep treating someone the same way that you have treated them since day one, or you can allow, whatever, roses and floutness that they want to put out there to sway you. But that's your decision, but you've already consciously entered into an agreement to play that game with them. You just have to choose your next move.
Okay.
Agree.
So do we have anybody else that want to
speak like?
I'm sorry, go ahead, what you were saying?
Well, what I was about to say was that previous to my situation now, sex is just sex. It doesn't always have to be an emotional roller coaster. Like, I've had sex and it's just been sex and, like, nigga, get the fuck out. I don't, what we had to talk about. What's the next step? We not going, as Susie said, we not having roses and fairies is not dumping dust on us or no shit like that's going on. So you can initially fuck with your pussy and not with your feelings.
I agree with that.
Ooh, girl, I got the hand up over here. You can't even see me. Yes. Yes.
You got to choose. Go ahead.
I agree with that statement.
Oh, no. I am giving my agreement. Oh, woman, church wave. Yes.
Okay.
I mean, men do it all the time, but when women do it, it's a double standard and it's looked upon as being, negative or whatever, but a fuck is a fuck sometimes, and that's all it is. And I don't have to have roses and pixie dust and we skipping through the forest and shit. No, you nut, I nut. It was a fair exchange. Let's move on. If I see you in the street, I might speak, I might not.
I feel like between two people that, discuss that and that's what it's going to be, there's really no need for the prolonging. You know what I'm saying? Especially if it's already agreed upon. I mean, everything don't have to be dramatic. You don't have to play the games and you know what I'm saying, because you was clear up front about what y'all both wanted. So me personally, I try not to get myself.
No, go ahead, finish up. I'm sorry.
I try not to put myself personally in situations like that because I don't do the back and forth with the game playing. I try to be clear from the beginning, more or less. Sometimes, stuff do sneak up on you as far as feelings or, situations change. But at the end of the day, that's what the open line of communication is for. You know what I'm saying? To establish what it is. And both walk away feeling satisfied without being used or no feelings. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? How you said it, the back and forth game, now she don't want me, so I'm going to make her. I feel like all that can be prevented. It don't have to be that.
Agree. But I guess the question is, at the end of the day, what's better? Is it better to get that type of sexual experience from somebody you're feeling, or just to get that sexual experience, period? I've been in both sides of the field. I've been in a place in my life where I've just wanted a nut, then I've evolved and I've wanted a nut with somebody that I cared about. So I would rather have a nut with somebody I cared about than an empty nut at this point in my life. That's just how I feel.
Yeah.
And I totally agree with you on that. And that's why I say in earlier parts of my life, it's been like that. Now, that doesn't equate to what's going on in my life now. Because that doesn't do anything for me now.
Okay.
It's all about where you are mentally mature levels. It's just about where you are, your placement in life, whether you're in a good place or a bad place. It all reflects on how you interact with people, especially intimately.
All right. I want to hear from our male panel, the other callers. We got Deep Duval and we got Matt still online. You know, I want to hear from y'all. Anything y'all want to talk about, discuss. Discuss. Excuse me for that. Anything that y'all want to talk about?
I gotta just answer questions. Like, any ladies have direct questions for like a situation, a scenario where you want a man's honest opinion, I can do that.
Yeah, I'm better at situational stuff like that.
I got something to say.
Okay.
What's that?
Was that Sir Leo Wild?
I'm going to do a little reality check. There's going to be a few men that probably aren't going to like this, but I'm going to throw it out there anyways. Women tend to be more emotional. Men tend to be more physical. With that being said, I have to hear from a lot of women whine and complain about the fact their men don't do certain things for them, and they feel that they've been together long enough they should. And I always ask a simple question. When you first met, and in that first few months you were together, did you require them to do anything to give up that pussy? And if you didn't, what makes you think now they're going to want to do any of those things if you're still giving them the pussy? Because here's a simple rule. You whine and complain, you fight, and you argue. At the end of the day, if you still give him the pussy, he just figures it's all foreplay. Whatever you give up in the beginning is only expecting you to do, or him to do, to continue getting it. So if you're going to complain and whine, guess what? It's the losing battle, because he's still going to get what he wanted, and that's the pussy.
Yeah.
Wow. That's reality check material. I would agree with that.
That's a reality check.
Yeah. How do you feel about that, Deep Duval, Bless, Matt? How y'all feel? Do y'all agree with that statement?
Yeah. It's always been that way.
I agree
and we
to
know
a
it.
certain extent. To a certain extent. I believe it's a little different depending on who you're with. There's some women that you want to be with, and sex is kind of like a subsidiary of what the main vision is. So I never really use what I want. I never really use my actions to get sex. I use my actions to get the mind or the person. You know, if I'm really into them. Now, if it's somebody I don't care about, then whatever I say that makes it happen, that's cool. But I definitely agree, though, what he's saying, to the point where if a woman doesn't set certain boundaries or standards, you can't try to change the game, you know, in the fifth, sixth inning. You know, at that point, it's almost done. So you definitely have to be careful of what you put out there and expect to, you know, set boundaries and standards in the beginning. That way you're not disappointed.
Yeah.
Never settle for less than you're worth.
Yeah, I tend to hold the woman at the standards that she starts with. I only raise them from that point, but whatever she starts with, I kind of keep her there. So what he said was pretty spot on. If you're going to give it to me and I don't have to do anything to get it, I'll take it every now and then when I want it. If we have to argue and fight about it every now and then, it's just foreplay. It really is. I was like, now if I want to be with you, if I want to pursue something with you, then I'll know I have to change my ways at some point. But if it's just fucking, it's just a nut, and I decide to deal with you, it's just foreplay. It's not gonna make me change anything.
Okay. Well, we have a caller just called in. Caller 3933.
Yes.
Welcome to Explicit Pleasures. Who's calling?
Cynthia.
I'm sorry?
Cynthia.
Okay, how you doing? Thanks for chiming in on the conversation. I'm not sure how long you were listening, but we were just talking about pretty much the standards that a man hold you at what you say? Can you repeat that for me? What you just said?
I hold a woman at the standards that she sets initially.
Okay, so we got her. Todd, and you want to continue what you were saying about that? I just had to introduce the caller.
Let me see. If you approach me as a woman with class and morals, I'm going to humble myself before you because you are something that is worth pursuing. If you come at me like this pussy is all I got, I'm going to treat you like that pussy is all you have. It probably won't ever change my mind about you because that's how you wanted to make your initial contact. And that first impression is always a motherfucker for real. So, yeah, whatever a woman introduces herself as, that's what I hold her at. Whether she be a freak.
I have a question for that. So, okay, a woman, you meet this girl, she's nice, she has nice standards, she has a lot going for herself. She makes it hard for you to get nookie. She puts you on a 90-day rule. You do everything you gotta do. Something turns you on about this girl because she makes it hard for you to get it. 90 days come, okay, he's done everything he's supposed to do. He's treating me like a lady. He's opened doors for me and things like that. I think I'll give him some. Have you ever gotten the nookie after the 90 days, after you put in all his work, and then the text stopped coming, the phone call stopped?
Have I ever put in all the work and then the call stopped?
Yeah, like you it's like you had to work for it, and when you got it, you're like, oh, okay, because you just said that you'll put in your work, and you know, if she comes at you with high standards and things like that, you can appreciate that. Mm-hmm. But have you ever like looked at it as a game almost?
Not really. I think I'm an anomaly when it comes to shit like that. Like, I'll put in the work no matter if you came to me like a hoe or a classy woman. I'll put in the work. Whether you deserve me afterwards is what really is the determining factor. I figure I'm as much of a prize as she is. If she want this, she got to meet my standards, and I give you time to meet my standards. But if your standards are lower than mine, I'm just going to treat you like your standards are lower than mine. I've had situations where I've been put on hold for 2 months, 3 months, whatever amount of months. She didn't realize I wasn't in it for the pussy anyway. So when I got it, I didn't care. She could have disappeared. I was trying to see what kind of person she was. She didn't live up to my standards. So when she decided she got what she wanted, I let her go about her way. It's just what happened. Didn't feel like it was a game. I feel like it was a lesson, an experience, and I won't do stupid shit like that with stupid people like that.
Okay, so it's been 2 months and you finally got the pussy. She's calling you. She still likes you, and you're ignoring her.
That's not me.
Because she wasn't up to your standards.
Mm-mm.
But she made you wait 2 months. She's acting like nothing but a lady.
If she's acting like
and
nothing
and you're not interested anymore because you got the pussy.
That's never my goal. I want to see what your passion is. I want to see what makes you tick. I want to see what pisses you off. Your pussy is a consolation prize. It's something that if you decide to give it to me, cool, I'm happy to have it. But there's a billion other women walking around with that same shit. So it's going to feel tight or it's going to feel loose. It's going to be wet or it's going to be dry. It's going to be shallow or it's going to be deep. Either way. I was like, it's the same shit either way. I was like, so
I'll also add in, may I add in just really briefly, it might be something else altogether that stopped the phone calls.
Yeah. Like, you know, she crazy.
I mean? Like, just because you gave him the pussy, like, that's great, or, you know, she gave him the pussy, then that's great, you know what I mean, that's fine. But it could have been something you said during dinner, how you reacted the next morning, something that he has going on in his personal life, You know what I mean? Because, I mean, unfortunately, we all know that he could, you know, be spending tons of time with you and still have someone else. You know what I mean? So there are tons of other reasons. So don't necessarily think that it's just because, you know, okay, he finally got the cookie as well.
But truly, with dudes, that's kind of what it is. If we disappear after the pussy, it's because, hey, we got what we wanted, and the other chick that we pursuing, we got to put in a little bit more time with her, and we don't have that same amount of time for you. Now, with me, it's different, but I'm a dude still. I still think that way. I just can't act that way.
To me, if it was like that, it just wasn't that great.
That's not like so it wasn't just that she had some bad pussy. The pussy wasn't good.
Yeah, like
she was completely a lady, like top of the head to toe, like completely exactly what she should have done. But after waiting 90 days or whatever, and then
pussy was horrible.
After all this time, after all this effort, then you're not even up on your game, like.
Wait. You saying the pussy out of practice? Is he saying the pussy out of
practice? It's either whack, it's either...
It might just be whack, not even out of practice.
It smells funny, I don't know, it's something.
That's funny.
Just saying, I'm gonna keep it real, you know? Sometimes it's just... Sorry, ladies. Not everyone's a home run.
Another question.
Not every day of the week.
Okay, another question. So she was a nice lady.
Home runs all the time.
And she had high standards. And she finally gave you the pussy 90 days. But when she gave the pussy, she go all in. I'm talking about lick your ass, suck your toes.
Wow.
Are you calling this chick again?
Hell yeah.
Like she revealed.
Not if she licked my ass. I don't want my ass licked. Like, I'm going to stop her. I'm going to give her a stern look and be like, hey, don't do that shit no more. Don't do it no more. But I'm going to call her in the next...
Well, let's keep doing
shit, I might call her from the other room so we could try it in a different room. I was like, because think about it. You're saying she's a classy lady, which means she conducts herself like a professional at work, like a woman of moral standings in her personal life, and then in the bedroom, she turns into the devil and sucks your soul out. You can't get better than that.
Yes.
Yeah.
You can't get better than that. You probably going to call Jared.
Can y'all hear me? Yeah.
Oh, okay. So the little white lady here started talking to me in my ear, so I thought I had hung up or did something. I got a question.
Go ahead.
Well, it's more of a statement. Me and my fiance are having this conversation outside of the chat. He doesn't believe in the 90-day rule for totally different reasons than me not believing in the 90-day rule. My reason for not believing in the 90-day rule is because if I was a lady, I would be a lady regardless. I am who I am, whether it's on day 15, day 29, or day 90. And if I want to fuck you on day 1, I'm going to fuck you on day 1. That's just, but that's personal experience. Now, my fiance is saying that he doesn't believe in the 90-day rule because love is one thing and sex is another. By the time you've invested into a person for 90 days, if you're not in love with, if you're falling in love with them, if you're not already loving them, and if you love somebody, it's probably more like if the person that's waiting the 90 days is more than likely a one-sided type of deal, because the person that's making you wait couldn't possibly care about your feelings in this matter, because if they care the same way that you care, or was developing the same type of feelings that you're developing, then no limitations will be put on the relationship.
You know who made up the 90-day rule?
Can I comment on that? First off, I don't agree with the 90-day rule either, for my own reasons, but I think in the movie that was supposed to portray a woman's way of keeping herself protected by putting that out there up front. Because if somebody says, you have to wait 90 days to get this blank period, a guy who's really not in it to see who she is going to be like, what? No, I'm good. I don't even want to deal with you, and somebody may say, all right, well, that's cool, and they may not mean it, but you're going to find out because a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, things are going to waver, things are going to change. So I don't think it was a 90-day rule to see if you were going to fall in love with someone or to show that you were a classy lady. I think that was just a defense mechanism herself. Plus, I mean, not trying to be funny, but if you're a hoe, you might need a 90-day rule. Just to kind of switch that up a little bit. Like, you might need to, okay, I'm going to give it 90 days because I'm trying to change myself, you know? So it just depends on where they're coming from with the 90-day rule. But I don't think it was meant to portray being the ultimate lady or have moral standings. I think it was just her way of seeing up front who is at least going to be up for the challenge.
Absolutely. And maybe she was looking for something for herself, you know, searching for her something within herself. She probably say, dang, I continue to fuck these niggas on the first night, and then they don't call me no more. You know what I'm saying? So maybe I'll wait a little while, wait 90 days and see if this nigga really fuck me, you know.
The 90-day rule.
Say that at that 90 days, she be like, this nigga ain't fuck me and might not even give him no pussy. But, you know, it probably taught her something. As women, it may have taught her something about herself. It made her stronger where she doesn't have to be a whore anymore.
I feel everything. I feel everybody's point
is always a wonderful thing.
I
she always inspires to grow personally, whether it's sexually, spiritually, mentally, however. If you're growing, you're growing. And that's always a good thing. But in my opinion, it doesn't take you 90 days to realize whether you like somebody well enough to have. That thing takes sex off the plate. Or there's something like somebody in 90 seconds. Fuck 90 minutes. I know 90 days somebody within the first 5 minutes of meeting them.
Yeah, I feel like this. What's the time when you say 90 minutes? What's the time that you? What do you mean? I mean, 90 days. What do you mean exactly? 90 days of knowing this person. 90 dates. You know what I'm saying? Like, what exactly is 90 days? Because you could go 90 days and only speak to a person like 7 times.
Don't hold me to 90 days.
Spend time with them twice.
For everything and shit. You know, I'm just giving like a time frame longer than one night stand. You know what I'm saying? Because like you say, a hoe don't always be a hoe. But if this hoe trying to change, maybe she needs to put even if she put a 30-day on it. I mean, and it might not be that she looking for love. She might just don't want to be no hoe no more.
Right, so
why y'all laughing at her?
She quoting songs though. That's funny.
Yeah.
No, it's she don't want to be a freak.
What's your holism? I'm just playing.
Well, I ain't no hoe no more.
You're a housewife now?
I'm working on them. I'm on my 90 days right now.
Okay.
I do not believe in a 90-day rule at all.
I don't either. I think, like, just like you said, you know in the first 5 minutes, 10 minutes, but it's also, like, that rule, you push so many good people away that you're compatible with.
If we have a sex for 90 days.
I think the rule is it's kind of set up to try to weed out the liars, but it doesn't work. Because if you're a dude who has multiple women on your roster, 90 days, when your 90 days start, this other woman's 90 days is ending, so I'm good no matter what.
Yeah, it don't matter.
I think, and also you have to also, like somebody else just brought up, the fact that I'm emotionally attached to this person now, so if the sex sucks, then I'm going to have to work through this shit. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if I can train somebody to give me what I like. Like, that's fucking stressful.
Yes, you can.
But you know what?
You can, but again, I'm 32 years old now. I don't want to sit there and train somebody how to give head. Like, I don't want my...
It takes one long ass
session. How
session.
to open your jaws. Like, that's just not cool to me.
All it takes is 1
hour long
session, bro.
It was a challenge, but now I'm kind of set in my way.
Hour long.
I need to say that if you're going to do like the, 30, 60, 90 day, rule or whatever, maybe you should keep it to yourself. I don't think that it does anything, for the other person. I mean, if you're not gonna,
absolutely not, because then he's gonna do everything
that's what I'm saying.
It's a challenge.
One of the things, and that's one of the things that you have to work on is your defenses. Okay? Yeah. Because as a woman, like, we still need to build up, some kind of, hey, like, nah, you know what I mean? There's always going to be temptation. That's like a alcoholic. You know what I'm saying? Going to somebody's birthday party. Damn, Miss Wicca everywhere. It's the rock all in this bitch. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what it's going to have to be like for the woman who's putting herself on this 30, 60, or 90-day rule. Because she is going to have to, resist that temptation as well. It shouldn't just be that the man is the only one that resists the temptation. Both of you should be wanting it, and both of you should be working, to resist it. Like, if you're telling him no, like, you know what I'm saying, he's not like, you're going to have to build up that kind of strength. This is not just purely for weeding out men. It's also for strengthening the woman and her spirit.
Absolutely.
My point.
Absolutely. Reforming the whole life.
My point exactly.
Okay, well, we're going towards the end of the show.
Maybe my whole car was a whole car, because I fucked my fiance the first night we went on a date. Now, it was the first night we met each other. The first night we went on a date, we had sex. Been having sex ever since then.
I mean, but that's
I would have married you too. Like,
yourself on a 30-day rule. Like, you weren't trying to put yourself on that rule. So, whatever. But we're just talking about the people who do.
And I mean, that's not a whole card, because you have to understand that was you and him. That wasn't you, him, Tom, Jerry, Sean, Joe. Like, if that was something you did on a regular basis 5 days a week with 5 different people, then, you might have to go.
Here's the catch. Here's the catch. We don't know that when it happens. And as a man, we always assume it's been more than us that has happened to.
Mm-hmm.
So it depends on the man's sexual maturity.
What did you think after that? What did you think of me after that?
It depends on what conversations you had before that. See, and then I'm being honest, because if me and you had some real conversations about relationships and shit like that before that happened, then to me that's just us sharing each other with each other, kind of like a bonus of what we're trying to reach within whatever we're trying to do. But I personally, if I have sex with somebody, I don't say too quickly, because again, if you're aroused by me and vice versa, it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. I don't say, well, because I fucked you because I've been talking to you for 2 days that I don't want to fuck with you no more. No, now I want to see, are you really somebody who's promiscuous, or do you really like me? Then it becomes intellectual to me at that point, because now I need to figure out if my feelings are true, meaning if me feeling like, hey, you're promiscuous, are you really promiscuous, or are you just in there blessed? Let's figure that part out now. So it becomes a challenge after that to me, and that's just me speaking for myself.
And I agree. I mean, I look at things totally different. Sometimes I look at it from a male standpoint, because I guess because I was raised around men, but just because I had sex with you doesn't mean that I'm going to have sex with somebody else under the same circumstances. It's all about a connection on so many different levels. And I guess that's why I personally don't believe in the 90-day rule, 30 days. I don't believe in rules when it comes to matters of physical content. I mean, other than being...
There should be no rules with feelings at all. You should act on every impulse and feeling you have in life, because that's what we're giving them for, in my opinion. Why bottle it down? I've been in situations where I've been talking to women and been, tempted, as you say, and she's been tempted, and, we're just sexually frustrated now because we want it, I want it, she wants it, but we say, no, we're not going to do it, because every time we've done this before, it's fucked up, but we're basing what's happening with us on bullshit that happened in our past.
I'm not that person.
Exactly.
You can't judge me for what happened in your past or previous relationships, because I'm not that person. And you'll never know what I'm okay with until you tell me or say, this is what I want. If you tell me this is what you want, either I'm going to accommodate you on what you want, and I'm going to tell you how you can get accommodated with what you want, if it's with me or somebody else.
Mm-hmm. True stills.
Alright, so this is the time of the show where we're going to wrap it up. I want everyone to, have their last words, and then we're going to end the show. So we'll start off with Miss Just Create.
Last word. In general, do what makes you happy. Make sure you're true to yourself at the end of the day, because you have to look in the mirror and see what you like. So if you like what you see in the mirror, fuck what everybody else say.
Okay.
Indeed.
All right, next, Coco.
I concur.
Coco?
Live life, be happy, make someone smile, spread some love. Literally.
Okay. Bless.
I just want to say, ladies and gentlemen, be selfless when you're in the bedroom. It goes a long way. When you do things for others rather than doing it for yourself, you'll get a greater satisfaction, in my opinion. And that's from one freak to another.
Okay. Who else we got on the line? We got Miss Susie.
I'll remind you of today's tongue tip. Y'all kiss, then he eats, then she sucks, then y'all fuck.
Okay. All right, Matt. Matt, you still online?
You said, yeah. Last words. I would say there's only one rule, and that's there are no rules. Besides the other rules about being safe and having fun and what was the other one? Be safe, have fun, and get it in.
Okay.
I like how you think.
Sorry for drinking over here. Y'all have a good night, though. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah. And Deep Duval, we got to see what he'll get your last words.
Be messy. I want some right now.
All right. So, we're going to end the show. I like to thank everybody for calling the show. I like to thank the panel, Matt, thank Deep Duval, thank Bless. Thank our special guest, Sir Leo Wilds. If you want any of his services, leowild@gmail.com. You can email him and let him know what you need. You know what I'm saying? I like to thank the ladies of EP. This is our first show of many to come. And if you want to email us any questions or concerns, explicitpleasures69@gmail.com. You can catch us on Twitter, Ladies of EP. And you can Google Plus us, Explicit Pleasures 69. Our Facebook like page, don't forget to go like us on Facebook. That's Ladies of EP. Facebook.com/Ladies of EP, and you'll get our like page. Like us on Facebook. Make sure you stay in tune on that page also, because we'll post the topics. We'll let you know if we have any special guests, etc. on that page. So make sure you like that so you can stay informed. And thank everyone who called in. Cynthia, Matt, who else we had called in? Nate Diesel called in. Thank everybody who called in. We had a good show, and we will see y'all 9 p.m. next Tuesday. It's been our Explicit Pleasure on Big Deal Radio.